That's when I made the choice to get really, really loud and not allow her disappearance to go unnoticed. Something inside me told me to make the world know her name. My daughter's been missing since June 27th of 2023. I've told the whole story several times. Today I'm going to go through the entire story with all the new updates and corrections. On Friday, June 23rd, my daughter left the home that she was living in with her boyfriend and his family members after an altercation with some of the female members of his family. This picture shows what happened after an altercation with those same people a few months prior. On Saturday, June 24th, I received this message from Layla's boyfriend using her Facebook Messenger account, which was not unusual. They would go back and forth all the time because my daughter's phone was confiscated months earlier when Michael was arrested. As you can see, I ask a lot of questions. He does not respond. I called all the jails and hospitals. My daughter wasn't anywhere or in any of those. I go on to bed and my daughter sees the messages that her boyfriend has sent me and the correspondence therein, and she responds with, "I'm okay." I don't see the message until the next morning, and I promptly respond, "Thank God." She insists she's fine. She's not giving me a whole lot of detail in these text messages, and I'm not asking a whole lot of super pertinent questions because I know that her boyfriend has access to this account, and by now I'm assuming she's walked out on him, she's done with the nonsense, and she's trying to keep away. We exchange sentiments. "I love you so much more" is the last thing my daughter said to me before she vanished. Monday morning, I hear from Michael again. He's trying to get me worried so that I will find her for him. Or at least that's what I suspect, and I don't want to help him find her. I wasn't the only one Michael was trying to manipulate into helping him find her. He was also in contact with Layla's biological father. He's starting to freak me out, and we get to Monday night, right around bedtime, and we agree that if we don't hear from her by 8 a.m. the next day, we'll go ahead and call in a missing persons order. At this point, it hadn't been a full 48 hours since I heard from Layla. I was worried that we wouldn't be taken seriously, and I was really expecting a phone call. What we didn't know at the time is while Layla's dad and I were having that conversation, she was alive and well and at the AmeriCorps Extended Stay Hotel in Kingsport, Tennessee. It is now believed that Layla was using some substances that night that she doesn't normally use, and therefore caused some kind of scene in the parking lot of the AmeriCorps Hotel, and she couldn't find the room that she was visiting. So she aggravated all of the neighbors. At some point, the police came into the parking lot to deal with a completely different situation, but Layla got spooked and ran into the woods. That is all happening probably around the same time Layla's dad and I are having this conversation. Just before midnight, Layla's father couldn't sleep. It was bothering him too much. He decided he'd go ahead and call the station and call in the missing persons report. At 2 a.m. on June 27th, investigators knocked on Michael Thompson's door. He was home, so was the rest of his family, and everyone cooperated exactly how you would imagine they would. Fully. We would later be told that that night, while Michael was being interrogated, Layla was in the woods behind the AmeriCorps Hotel. She was witnessed the following morning at a warehouse directly behind that hotel. The only thing in between the hotel and the warehouse was a small patch of woods and a field. Between 6 and 7 a.m. on Tuesday, June 27th, Layla came across the field and asked an employee at the warehouse if she could bum a cigarette. The employee didn't smoke, and Layla took off towards the green belt, which is a walking, biking path that runs behind all of that stuff. It was initially believed that Layla was also seen later on the 27th at the Marble Slab Creamery, which is about a 15-20 minute walk from the warehouse I just talked about. It was determined months later that that sighting was invalid and that the person that was there was not Layla. So at this point, the last sighting of my daughter took place between 6 and 7 a.m. June 27th at a warehouse behind the AmeriCorps Extended Stay Hotel. Tuesday afternoon, I spoke to the detective for the first time, and he told me he believed that she was still at the AmeriCorps Hotel, hanging out, possibly hiding from Michael. It sounded like a reasonable thing for her to do. On Wednesday, I discovered what hotel room she was supposed to be staying in, and I sent my ex-boyfriend and a mutual friend of ours up there to try and find her and bring her home to me. When they got there, Michael and a bunch of his friends were also in the parking lot as though they were staking the place out. The two groups of men banded together and spent the rest of that evening going up and down the Greenbelt trying to find Layla. By now, we had been posting flyers all over the place and making social media posts, sharing Layla's face and story, and pleading with the public for information. Tips and leads came in from those social media posts, and on July 10th, I was out posting flyers and tracking down leads when I was informed that some of our family members were getting Cash App requests from my daughter's account. This person tried to ransom my daughter and saying things like this. We all corresponded with this person over the next couple of weeks while everything was being traced. Layla's boyfriend Michael was arrested a couple weeks ago for doing this. Allegedly doing this. In the beginning of August, Michael's house was searched after the IP address came back to his physical address. Layla's 21st birthday was August 5th of 2023. We held a candlelight vigil at her favorite park. We gave her the birthday party she had always wanted. But at this point, when she didn't come home for her birthday, I realized something was terribly wrong. Birthdays are Layla's favorite holiday. She absolutely loves her birthday. So when she didn't pop back up by her 21st birthday, that's really when it all started to sink in, that something terrible was happening, that our family was in crisis,